Stoveminders. I hope you have a fire extinguisher nearby, because there is a red alert in the baseball world. The hottest trade commodity of the past I don't know how many years. The immaculate shortstop Francisco Lindor has finally been traded to the New York Mets. Wow. They told you. They kept saying, oh, Stevie Cohen was going to drop dollars. But no, this is all team president Sandy Alderson, eh? What a deal for the Mets. Gosh darn, a team looking to assert themselves. Looking back on 2020 when they finished tied for last in the NL East, they said, we're not going to do that this year. They just added one of the best in the game. Ooh, all right, let's get to it. This is a 6-player trade with 2 going to New York and 4 the other way to Cleveland. On top of Lindor, the Mets also get right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco, a solid addition to their rotation. I'll get to what exactly that means in a moment. As for the Indians, they received 2 Major League ready shortstops, along with a pair of prospects, both of them top 10 in the Mets system. Let's start with Lindor's potential replacements at shortstop. You've probably heard of these guys: Amed, Rosario, and Andres Gimenez, or Gimenez. Who knows? I'm going to find out. Rosario is the more experienced player with 4 seasons done. Amed Rosario is a former top prospect, a consensus top 10 in all of baseball prior to his debut. While he hasn't been bad necessarily, Amed has definitely not lived up to that billing. A career slash of 268, 302, 403. He can hit, though he's also been too streaky to offer Mets fans much to get excited about. Only one of his campaigns have netted an above-average offensive output, and that was 2019. So for Indians fans without much at stake anymore, there is some hope going forward for the 25-year-old Dominican who still has 3 years of team control left. Rosario adds a bit of base running with 30 double upside and a liking for swiping, though his base stealing has not been that successful, as evident by his major league leading 10 times caught stealing in 2019. Oh, and defensively, Rosario has not been good. Below average by the metrics. What's the point of a shortstop who can't play defense? And that fact is exactly what opened the door for Andres Gimenez, also going to Cleveland. Gimenez with a G is a 22-year-old out of Venezuela and under contract through 2025, which is great news for an Indians team finally settling into a rebuild. Gimenez made his debut in 2020, hitting 263 with a 732 OPS in 132 plate appearances, a notch above average for that year. Was 7th in Rookie of the Year voting in the National League. Like Rosario, he can run. He's a former top 100 prospect. And unlike Rosario, Gimenez can field, which is good news for the shortstop position. And indeed, word is that Gimenez will start at short while Rosario can move over to second base, where Cesar Hernandez is no longer posted down there in Cleveland. A fun part of this trade is how the Mets gave up both of their young, controllable ex-top prospect shortstops for 1 year of Lindor. But prior to 2020, the Mets' very top prospect was 19-year-old Ronnie Mauricio, a switch-hitting shortstop ranked 62nd by MLB Pipeline. So they're not screwed at that position, but it will be a few years before Mauricio is big league ready. We will have to see whether or not Lindor makes a difference for the Mets in their quest for glory. To be super optimistic, maybe they can re-sign him like the Dodgers did Mookie. But for the time being, there are other additions that the Mets can make to create a winning ball club. Now, rounding out the Indians' haul are 2 young, pretty raw prospects, right-handed pitcher Josh Wolf and outfielder Isaiah Greene. All right, so Josh Wolf is 20 years old now. He was drafted in the second round of the 2019 draft out of high school in Houston. And he pitched a year of rookie ball before coronavirus flushed the 2020 minor league season down the toilet. Wolf was ranked 9th in the Mets system with a big league ETA of 2023, and with what sounds like a good foundation in terms of his velocity and the different pitches that he can throw that are already graded high by scouts. The fact he's going to a pitching factory that is the Indian system, I do like this addition. And then Isaiah Greene, 19-year-old left-handed hitting outfielder who was drafted by the Mets this past summer. Also a second rounder out of high school, him out of Corona, California. Greene was ranked 10th in the Mets system with an ETA of 2024. Scouts love his speed, which could make him a worthy center fielder in the big leagues. So, to reiterate, in total, Cleveland gets 2 middle infielders, both of whom will probably be on their opening day roster. Not bad, considering that's a team with a lot of holes around the field. Really lagged behind offensively. Lindor was having to basically carry that team as far as scoring goes. So now they get 2 guys who are at least okay to above average hitters. And in addition to that, 2 prospects on both sides of the ball. As I said, both quite young and raw. Why couldn't they get one of the Mets' top prospects? Probably because Lindor is merely a rental. Let's talk about him. Yeah, we all know Francisco Lindor, from 8th overall draft pick to bona fide superstar. He has been consistent, which goes a long ways in this business. 6 years, 4-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger, and a regular down ballot MVP candidate. If you look at his career numbers, 2020 stands out as his only mediocre season. And even with that, Lindor owns a career slash of 285, 346, 488. He can do it all. 30-plus home run power, 40-plus doubles, and 20-plus stolen bases in multiple seasons. Good walk totals to buoy his on base, and he doesn't even strike out all that often. And Lindor's been durable, leading the league or majors in games played, plate appearances, and at-bats at various times. Defensively, yeah, as I said, 2-time Gold Glover with 46 defensive runs saved above average in his career. Since his debut in 2015, Lindor has led all shortstops in Fangraphs WAR. He is that guy. He is El Señor. The Mets are getting a rocket ship in the switch-hitting 27-year-old Puerto Rican. He will fit into a lineup that now includes Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Michael Conforto, James McCann. Damn. They're cooking down there in Flushing. The one downside here is that they may only have him for 1 year. It's a rental. And Lindor is projected to make about $19.5 million in arbitration this year. Still, even if Cohen can't pony up the money to extend him, and he'll have a good pitch ready as far as playing in New York City. I mean, how many Puerto Ricans are in New York? That's a competitive team in 2. It's not the only thing that the Mets got out of this trade. Right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco. So, a bit of a story here. Carrasco was excellent from 2015 to 2018, as you may remember. He was a regular Cy Young candidate, or at least received votes in a couple of those years. Very solid, but Carrasco had to get leukemia treatment in the past couple years, and he has recovered. And after a so-so 2019, he showed up with a strong 2020 campaign where he looked to regain some of his old form. Overall, in 11 seasons, Carrasco owns ERAs and FIPS in the 3s, a whip below 1.2, a strikeout rate that has only increased as his career's gone on, and a very comfortable walk rate too. He is under control for 2 more seasons, plus a team option for 2023, meaning the Mets owe him a total of $27 million going forward. And if Carrasco is back to his old self, even as like a mid-rotation piece, like a number 3 or number 2 guy. This could be a dangerous Mets rotation. They have Jacob deGrom, who you know is elite, and you got Marcus Stroman, Noah Syndergaard, and also for now David Peterson, who had a good 2020. Yeah, a lot of questions like, will Thor be healthy? Will Peterson do well in his sophomore year? And how's Stroman going to do after opting out in 2020? All shall be revealed. But for now, unless the Cohen Mets are truly feeling themselves, I am skeptical that they will go after one of the top free agent starters, i.e. Trevor Bauer, especially if they want to address the outfield and bullpen as well. And even as far as a George Springer deal, with the acquisition of Lindor and Carrasco, minus the little bit of money that Rosario and Gimenez were making, the Mets payroll currently stands at $162 million. Once again, thank you to Spot Rack. These guys are so on the ball. Like, as soon as these trades go down, they actually add the newly acquired players into the listings. And at $162 million, again, that would put the Mets at the second highest or maybe the third highest payroll in the major leagues. It's hard to read into this because there's like, I don't know, salary's kind of complicated. But anyway, yes, the Mets have a lot of money on the books, so they may be a little hamstrung as far as any other big additions. They may have to lowball a couple other guys, but not missing out on Trevor Bauer and maybe also George Springer, yeah, it kind of sucks, especially if you're getting only 1 year of Francisco Lindor. If Lindor elects free agency next year, that would be a huge loss for the Mets, I think, depending on what they gave up and what they missed out on. However, I do think it's in their favor. You know, as I mentioned, the attractiveness of playing for the Mets for Lindor, and also the fact that with the strike looming and with all the uncertainty there is as a professional baseball player, I think it's advantageous to try and get that long-term deal done, as Mookie did, as Harper and Trout did, as Yelich did. These guys went out and got 13-year contracts and whatever. Why? Because of just, certainty and stability. So, to wrap it up completely, a true blockbuster for the Mets and Indians. Francisco Lindor in blue and orange in 2021. Wow, how much of a difference will he make? How good can Carlos Carrasco and the rest of the Mets rotation be? And, as I've touched on, will Cohen and Alderson be able to get Lindor a Mookie Betts type extension after trade? Who knows? Who knows how either of the unpolished prospects going to the Indians will develop? And at least we do know that the Tribe will look up the middle this year with Amed Rosario and Andres Gimenez. Wow, the most fucked bus just drove by. That thing looks like it's ready for war. He's got a motorcycle in the back. Crazy times out here. I'm up in Canada, but looking down the States, you guys gotta calm down, man. You guys gotta chill the fuck out. You know who's not chilling out? The New York Mets. Wow. And as far as what's going for the Indians further, they finally managed to trade Lindor. Did they wait too long? Did making it only a 1-year rental diminish Lindor's value, especially after a not-so-great 2020? Tough to say. But he deserves to finally go to a team that's trying to win. And you gotta wonder what's next in Cleveland. Besides changing their name, who else can they trade? Shane Bieber? How about that? And as a side note, today, January the 7th, 2021, Thursday, is the deadline for Tomoyuki Sugano to sign with a major league club. And like past Japanese postings, this is shrouded in mystery until he decides. And as of right now, which is about 22 minutes past noon, Sugano's status remains unknown. So don't let up off that stove mining, because that is a very interesting signing waiting to happen. But for now, enjoy the warmth. Lindor and Carrasco to the Mets. Whoa.